I just had a profound conversation about a topic which 2 months or 3 months ago was something I could not even entertain, and that is the topic of service. I had such an animosity to this word. I was so against the idea of service, and it was so charged for me because service, the word itself, is rooted in slavery. Servant servile. Servile is the origin of it, and it comes from the times of slavery. And the whole attitude that I had associated with service was that to be a servant, but in the way that in India it's very common to have house help, and the house help is called a servant, and they're treated as someone who is lower class. They're treated as someone who's below, someone who's to be ordered around, someone who follows orders. And being the rebel that I was, I hated the idea of being a servant. And then came the whole idea from the spiritual uh, industry, domain, whatever you want to call it, that to be of service to others is the highest calling. And it triggered me so much, so much. I fought it for years. I was trying to convince people to drop that word, to adopt another word that is more elevated, more empowering, trying to educate people how service is actually slavery. Because the whole idea was servant and master also, that a servant serves the master and the master commands the servant. And it was only about 3 months back that I finally stopped fighting it. And instead of fighting it, I started trying to understand that words have different frequencies. This is something I've been teaching for a very long time. The same word can be charged with something completely different. And while service was deeply charged with the idea of slavery and obedience and all of these very heavy energies and feelings, for me, it was charged with all of that, especially with the whole slavery of India where the British was ruling. There's a lot of energy that we are charged with against slavery. So anything to do with slavery for me was just strong opposition. And so 3 months back when I confronted this, I started tuning in. Is there a different frequency of service that makes it mean something completely different? And so the meaning I associate with the word is only one meaning of it, and it can actually have a completely different meaning. And that's when I just started liberating myself of all of this heaviness, because it was not just the word that was triggering, it was because it had actually, I was attached, I had a lot of energy within my system attached to the ideas that were associated with that word. And I started realizing how much heaviness I was carrying from the slavery, the times of slavery, the way it has affected the country that I was born in, the culture I was born in, how basically India was raped and looted of its culture, of its wealth. India was a very rich country, extremely rich, before it was looted by the British. And the consequences that it had, it was living in my body, and I could feel it as I was detaching from all of this heaviness around slavery. I was just getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And that is when I started seeing service from the lens of devotion. And that was so radically different. The whole energy of service being an act of devotion, where it's not about obedience, it's not about giving and taking orders, it's not even about a master. About being of it's about being devoted to something, giving myself to something. And that just opened my eyes so much, because while I was fighting service as slavery, I was also in this very individualistic mind of this very false sense of worthiness or self-esteem where, well, I am very worthy and people should know who I am, and they it's a privilege for them to work with me and look at how great I am. And there was this whole dynamic which was flipping the whole service master thing, is that in that dynamic, the servant master dynamic, one is better than the other. One has more power than the other. And that was the dynamic I was trying to reverse in the previous paradigm, where now I am the better one and I have more power, whatever it is. Not to command other people, but whatever. There was this whole dynamic. And as I was detaching from this and getting lighter and lighter, it really turned into being devoted to helping the world, to serving the divine as a function, as a purpose. That whatever is my purpose, my function, my role in this world, serving the divine is giving back for the blessings and the gifts that I have received, but also because it's deeply fulfilling. That when I get to play my role, the satisfaction that comes from it, the fulfillment that comes from it, it's for me. And that's why the title of this video is that it's not about you, but it is for you. And there's a big shift in this whole mindset where until it's from a place of service and devotion, it's about you, how good you are, whether people like you or not, whether you're confident or not, whether you're valuable or not, whether you're worthy or not. All of this is about you. Are you good enough to get clients? Are you marketing yourself well enough? Is your resume good enough for your job? Are you a good enough partner to get married? All of these things, it's about me. Me. It's all about me. The flip is, in service, it's not about me. It's how can I serve? What can I do for the other, for the world, for the universe, for the divine? What can I do? And in that, there is something for me, that is fulfillment, joy, satisfaction, happiness. It's true. It's so real. It's so deep. It's so genuine. It's unmistakable. But it's not happening from a place of compensation. It's not happening from a place of guilt, because it's also something I see. A lot of people, rich people, get into philanthropy because they feel guilty for their privilege and they want to do something to offset their guilt. And that's not what I'm talking about here. It's not because you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you feel whatever, that you have to do something to compensate for that. It's truly from a place of fullness. You feel whole. You feel it's not because you need something. That's the thing. It's not about you and what you need. You're not doing it because you need something. Validation, attention, love, money, whatever it is. You're not doing it for that because you need something. You're truly just there to give because you feel whole, you feel complete. And it's from this love, from this abundance, from this gratitude for life. I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful for this gift of life. And now I want to give back. And what is the highest way in which I can give back? What is my divine purpose? What is my divine role that will be for the highest good of all? Not just for one person that keeps me comfortable, that keeps me safe, but really, what is my purpose? What is my role? How can I give back to the world? And that could be giving through one person, and that one person changes the world, or it could be giving at a much bigger level. But it's you're there from that energy. You're there to just give at your highest because you're full. Maybe you're overfull and you're just sharing from that abundance. And in that, there is something big for you. There is fulfillment and joy and satisfaction that you just get from the act of service itself. And there's also usually a lot of reciprocity when you are in service. The universe also gives you abundantly, not as a reward, as in some kind of transaction, but just there is this energy that is reciprocated by the universe. But again, you're not doing it for that. That is just a consequence. That for me is one of the big shifts, is that a lot of the times we're doing things because it's about us and because we want something. We want to fulfill our needs, we want to fulfill our desires. That's why we do something. There's a big transactional nature to it. I do something good to get something in return. Validation, love, attention, money, whatever it is. I do something to get something in return. But here you're not doing something to get something, you're just doing. Something comes back naturally, but it's not as a transaction. It's non-linear. You might do something in one place, the universe gives you back in a completely different way. You don't even have to see the causality, the association, because there is no causality and association. It's just happening because that's the energy. When you're giving, there is a return. But a lot of the reason I've titled this video this way is that a lot of people think of service as being completely selfless. And I disagree with that because there's a lot of self denial in the service industry where people discount themselves, remove themselves from the equation. And that's why I said it comes, true service for me comes from a place of wholeness or abundance, where I feel whole and complete in myself. I am part of the equation. I see my importance, my role, and I acknowledge that I'm getting something out of it. Even if at the very least it is joy and satisfaction and fulfillment, I acknowledge that that's what I'm getting out of it. And I feel a lot of people deny this satisfaction to themselves. That even if they were to get it, they don't want to get it because, like I said, it could be that you're compensating for the guilt of privilege. So you feel like there's some penance involved, you feel like there's some punishment. So you cannot actually enjoy it. You have to just give without really uh, being able to feel these positive feelings out of it. And if someone were to want to reciprocate explicitly on top of that, that would just be a complete no. So there is a big block of receiving. And I feel like if that is blocked, then it's not true service. Then it becomes something else. In that there is still a transactional nature, in my opinion, that you're giving to compensate for something, and that for me still doesn't feel clean. Clean, truly clean energy is just, I'm here to give and I'm here to receive, because receiving is also an act of service. If giving for you is an act of service and you realize how good it feels to give, that's what the other person is doing too. And when you give and the other person receives it gracefully, that gives you joy. But if you give and the other person blocks it, feels ashamed, feels like they have a burden to reciprocate, they feel that it's transactional in nature, it does kill your own joy of giving also. And that's what you're doing to the other or to the universe when you are rejecting to receive. So that's how I see it, as that giving and receiving are both an act of service, but underneath it all, it's an attitude of service. Even the way I see it today is that it extends to everything, even having a family. Is it about you? Or is it because you're there to serve your family, to be devoted to your partner, to your children, to your parents, out of love, not as an obligation, not as a responsibility, not as some kind of heaviness of obedience, but just out of love? You're just there for them. It's not about me. And I really want to stress this point of about. When the way I've seen it professionally, for example, I have worked with many people, and family is a topic that comes up again and again and again. And one of the things that comes up pretty regularly is that people don't feel validated in their family. And that's the thing, is that when you are putting that requirement on others that they need to validate you, you're making it about yourself. Oh, I did something good for them, but they did not validate me. Is it about that? Is that why you're doing it? Then it's not service. Then it's a transaction because you're expecting something in return. And you can be honest about it. I want validation. And then you can communicate that explicitly. But you have to realize that the energy is so different. If you need to be validated every time that you do something, the energy is very different. Where you're just doing it out of love and devotion, that I love these people and I would do anything for them and I don't need something in return. I don't need validation because I just do it. Because this is my role. This is my joy. It's serving my family, giving to my family is my joy. It does fill my heart to see them happy, to see them light up. The thing is that yes, if the other person is not receiving, if they're blocked from receiving, if they don't actually receive it, you're doing something for them and they just take you for granted. There is something broken there. And that is where usually the resentment builds up. And that's when you don't want to be of service to someone who is not even really present in you receiving it. Because then you're not really serving anything. Then you're becoming a slave. Then you're becoming someone who's just expected to fulfill your role. And again, there the energy changes. So there is something again about the cleanliness of this. In a healthy relationship, you're giving from love and the other person is receiving from love. And there is an appreciation that happens, and there's no transaction there. It's just I so love this person, I just want to give, and the other person receives that love. In that, it feels whole, it feels complete, and there is that joy of service, of devotion, of giving. But yes, if it's not received and something is broken, you need to start realizing that what is broken is not, it's not about receiving validation, it's that the other person is not able to receive. So again, it's not about me, is that the other person is not able to receive. So somehow that needs to be worked out. You're still not doing it for validation, it's still not about you, but it's just understanding that there is a block there. So that's just one example, but this really extends in everything in life. Like even when you're doing something for life, you are devoted to life, you're devoted to God, you're devoted to the divine, whatever that word is for you, you're devoted to something beyond. You're not serving God to get gifts in return. Like if that is the nature, it's not service, it's a transaction, which is very popular in Indian culture. You go and give gifts or sweets in the temple expecting something in return, or you give those sweets from devotion. That was the original energy of prayer, of gifting, is that I just have so much love for this deity, for the divine, for God, that I want to make the sweets as a service to the divine and give the sweets to the divine, gift the sweets to the divine. And today what do people do? They go, they line up at a shop, they buy the sweet, they just go and deliver it, and ask for something in return and hope that they will get it. And it's nothing, there's no devotion, there's no service in that. It's all transactional. So I'm really hoping that the energy of service has been communicated here. I'm telling you, it's been such a journey for me over the last 3 months to come to this place that it has become so embodied in me. I and so I'm appreciative of this energy that I want others to experience it. I have been teaching this for the last couple of months now to a few groups and activating many people, and more people are coming into the service. And each time that a new person is active, is coming into service, they're feeling this deep fulfillment that cannot come from this deep joy of doing something beyond yourself, where it's not about you, you're just giving, truly giving. And I hope that this reaches you too. This touches activated you feel inspired to begin at least exploring this. What it feel like to give thing beyond yourself without expecting something in return, while being open to receiving and feeling whatever you feel, not to have any guilt about it, not to do it out of guilt, and just do it from this pure heart. Because I really do feel like this is one of the fastest ways of accessing the pure heart energy is devotion, service out of pure love. And I really feel very blessed to have activated this, because for me it was activated through the divine. Once again, it was a gift from the divine. And I am always so grateful for all the gifts and blessings that I have received from the divine throughout my life. And this is definitely one of the big ones. And I hope I have shared it in a way that you feel it too, you feel connected to it, and you feel activated by it. And if you would like to learn more, of course, you can get in touch with me, work with me. I have several free masterclasses that you can explore, which go deeper into some of these topics. So that's it for today, day 63 of my 64-day journey. So tomorrow is the last day, and it's going to be something big. I have a big story to share, a big announcement to share, to close this out with a bang, and to announce what the next phase is. So do tune in, and I will let you know what's going on tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with me so far on this journey, for your messages, for your comments, for your likes, your shares, your appreciation. It has definitely kept me inspired to keep going, to keep sharing, to keep delivering. And once again, I would love if this touched you, to give it a like, to comment on it, to share it. And that's it for today. See you tomorrow, one last time for this series.